Smarky family. Chatting with the Smarky. I'll get it right sooner or later. Shooting with the Smarky family. Episode 29. I'm DJ here, and on my right is
your Small Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Champion of Picking Things, Liam Landry.
Alrighty. Issa couldn't be with us today. Sorry.
He's too scared. He can't face me, as my victory from last weekend showed.
Yeah.
The coward.
Okay. So yeah, how was your week?
It was a rough one. How about yours?
Not too bad. Weather's been crappy around here, so work's been slow. Makes the day go by slower. But went on a date last Wednesday. Went well, so hopefully I'll keep talking to her. We've only been talking for about almost 4 weeks now, so. Mardi Gras coming up, obviously. Got a busy. Next week gonna be pretty busy, so.
Wow.
I won't be at the podcast next weekend, so.
I would say it's probably not obviously because of the fact that not everyone celebrates Mardi Gras.
That is true. So it's not that obvious, yeah.
No, they don't. So Mardi Gras
is a big deal.
What date is it? March?
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday?
Which will be March 5th.
March 5th. Okay.
No, yeah, March 5th, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a little crazy.
And the weekends leading up to that in New Orleans, they have a lot of parades.
They got some today, and they have some starting Thursday all the way to Tuesday, so. And usually Saturday and Sunday are your big days to go see parades. And not your little parades like they have when people win Super Bowls and, they throw beads, cups, anything. People do anything for beads. Anything you can imagine, they do, so, yeah.
Was that you trying to throw shade because we weren't in the Super Bowl? Trying to poo-poo on the Patriots parade?
Yeah, you can say that.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, well, we can get right into the first segment, which is news outside of the WWE. Yeah, let's scroll. Yeah, we can scroll down. You want to see the comment section?
What?
See,
oh yeah.
Just so we can, if we get comments, we can respond.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Please don't be scared. Don't be scared to chat.
Don't be like Issa and too intimidated.
Yeah, we
by
know.
my power.
News.
Yeah.
Didn't have something with Cody Rhodes.
Yes, we had an interview. First thing actually, Cody Rhodes is working off of a knee injury.
Okay.
He's been wrestling a lot, but was still able to do an interview. A lot about concerning the hiring, who they're going to be hiring for AEW, especially now with confirmed releases from WWE. There's of course a lot of talk about Ty Dillinger, someone that Cody Rhodes has a past with, and the others about are they going to sign him? But they went out of the way to make sure to say that they're not just looking for ex-WWE guys. They want people who have their own, who can get over on their own and make their own thing. So they're not just looking to stock on, ex-WWE guys. So people shouldn't just expect people leaving from WWE to go to AEW.
Yeah, well, so what you're kind of saying is, I don't know too much about it. I saw a little bit about it on Twitter, is that you have to kind of prove yourself. You have to prove yourself that you want to be there, that you can make it on your own. Whether you're a WWE guy, to a New Japan guy, to a Impact ROH guy, whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is that WWE guys get a lot of coverage. So companies like, say, Impact Wrestling or TNA at the time would put a lot of stock in just hiring ex-WWE guys and pushing them over newer talent, which allowed it to just kind of be a worse product. It was like a worse WWE in that sort. So,
I mean, there is some reasons why WWE didn't want this guy to be the top dog, or this guy or this woman to be, there is, even though we don't like it sometimes, they might not be the best talent. I'm not saying that they're not good or anything, but I know AEW wants the best talent out there, and you kind of have to prove yourself. Just you don't get a hall pass card because you're a WWE guy, and Cody Rhodes might know you, kind of thing.
Right.
So, any other news?
Along with that, we had some other AEW news with an interview with Kenny Omega, who's the executive vice president and an actual competitor on an actual wrestler for the product. He did an interview with Tokyo Sports where he said that he was asked about the fact that they've recently picked up some Joshi, which is women's wrestling in Japan. That's what they call Joshi wrestling. Picked up some stars from there, and he was asked about it. And he said that they're definitely looking to get more women from Japan and diversify the women's division in AEW. He also said that he's looking to work with DDT Pro Wrestling, a wrestling company definitely known more for its comedy wrestling, but also serious wrestling as well too, but a lot of comedy stuff. He's worked there with the past, and he says that he wants to foster a relationship with them, much like they have with Oriental Wrestling Entertainment in China and AAA in Mexico.
Very cool.
So, and also from their Twitter, they put out a press release DDT Pro did about the owner of DDT Pro saying that these their family. He said that Kenny Omega's family to them, and that they'll work with them with open arms. Accept them with open arms, I should say. So it looks like they're going to foster a working relationship with them.
Oh, cool.
Along with those other companies.
Yeah.
Which will help both the men's and women's divisions.
Oh, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Because I heard they don't have a lot of women signed right now.
No, I mean, they don't have a lot of people signed in general, so...
Okay. Yeah, because I heard somebody was making a comment, and then I think, if I remember correctly, Jordan Grace from Impact was talking about how it's just getting started and, it's going to take a while to sign people.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention, they also work with AAA, which has a women's division.
Okay.
Oriental Wrestling Entertainment, for my knowledge, does not have a women's division. It's just the men's.
What is it?
Oriental Wrestling
Oriental,
Entertainment
okay.
in China.
So they don't have a woman.
So, I mean, from what I saw from it, it's only men. But, like I said, DDT Pro has women. They're going to get more Joshi talent from Japan. And also
cool.
they have AAA working as well, along with the female talent they picked up in America. So
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is that all the news?
That's all the major news, yeah. So let's get right into our second segment, which is news inside the WWE.
And before we do that, I just wanted to say hi to Taylor. Thank you for watching. Please, any questions you have, we will answer at the end of the show. So please don't be afraid. We are an open book on wrestling. Nothing private, but
all your private information.
Yeah, right.
Asking for a social security number.
No, please don't. I will not be giving that out today. Okay, but...
But what day will you give it out?
Never.
Oh. Okay, we can to our next segment. It's going to be a pretty big one here.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of news. Yeah. We have first news of releases. Hideo Itami was the originally confirmed release, but then we also have Ty Dillinger and TJP who've gone and asked for the release and been granted it. And they've also both went on to Twitter to talk about it as well, so it's all completely official. And I think it was made just this past Friday, that it was completely official from WWE as well.
Cool. I'm kind of surprised. I'm not surprised with the Ty Dillinger one or the TJP one, because it's Ty Dillinger they weren't really doing anything with. The TJP one, I was a little shocked, but I mean, he was the top dog in 205 Live, and then he went down to like a jobber. And I would have thought that they might have brought him up to the main roster, Raw, SmackDown, but they never did. So I don't know if I necessarily like this 205 Live thing. It's great, but I don't know. What? Any thoughts on the releases?
No, I just hope they end up getting more success. It's a big deal with TJP because he was the first cruiserweight champion and won the cruiserweight tournament. So it's kind of a big loss because you thought they would have had a lot more for him to do, but
Right.
it's a pretty big loss there. We also had the apparent firing of WWE Hall of Famer and producer On Anderson as well.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
it's a lot of speculations. What's going down? Apparently, a lot of words from backstage that's getting leaked out is that he got into a giant shouting match with Vince McMahon, and that led to his firing. So,
Yeah.
real big deal there. But yeah, he's of course a legend, part of the Four Horsemen with Ric Flair, and a long-time producer with the company. So it's a pretty shocking loss there.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. But when you piss off your boss in any job, it's
Yeah.
likely to get fired, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to some better news.
So that's releases there.
We actually have some very good call-ups, some top dogs outside of NXT coming up to Raw and SmackDown. I'll let our president of NXT.
The president of NXT.
Yeah, why not?
Well, I'll go over it. Apparently, it's a crazy start there. In an attempt to really shake things up, Vince McMahon is just trying to bring in as much talent from NXT, anyone he believes is a star, or basically asked other people if they're a star, and just kind of brought them up pretty willy-nilly. It's an interesting start. For whatever reason, they're putting Ciampa and Gargano back together as a tag team and facing them off against heels.
You like that?
No, it doesn't really kind of follow along with the storyline they've been doing. I think in tapings, and this is a spoiler, but in NXT tapings, they get put together as a tag team for the Dusty Rhodes Classic, wanting to turn on each other again by the end of it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be confusing going forward on NXT to main roster. A little confusion there, but yeah, as long as they're booked well, it could be good talent. All the guys are very talented. It's just very abrupt. They had to take off the championship off Gargano, the North American Championship, and yeah.
Probably Ciampa will be next for his championship. It's kind of sad because I know a guy like Liam here watches NXT, and that's 90. That's like 60. That's like 40. I'm not going to say you got a lot of talent in NXT, so maybe it's like 30 or 40% of your talent.
Yeah,
right?
They don't have as robust of a main event scene, so it does deal quite a bit of damage. It's going to have to mean that they're going to bring more up Matt Riddle, per se, to be like the next main face of NXT. And I guess have kind of forced their hand into getting a good role for Keith Lee as well, who's kind of been lost in the shuffle. Mostly been Matt Riddle's friend.
Right.
It does raise question if maybe Candice LeRae may be next for the women's division.
Cool.
Just kind of keep them together because they've always shown them as the married couple, Candice LeRae and John Gargano.
Yeah. Okay.
So it could possibly be. Actually, another thing when it comes to couples, it does lead to question what's going to happen with, say, Peyton Royce, who's the girlfriend of Ty Dillinger.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Let's hope that the release doesn't negatively impact her.
Yeah,
forward.
That would be bad. The surprising thing to me is with these call-ups, yeah, I like all the guys that they called up. They are the biggest names of NXT, but it's like, this is the first time you've seen your top maybe 5 or 6 guys out of the top 10 of NXT be called up at one time. It's usually 1 or 2, maybe one guy and one tag team get called up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame because NXT is doing so well. And I just hope, I have a lot of hope that Triple H will be able to turn this around and will be able to find the right talent to make it work. What are your thoughts?
It should be turned around, and I think they'll still be working with it as well because they still have the tapings, so they're gonna kind of be in their still up until probably a WrestleMania weekend at Takeover New York.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about
And they'll
that
probably
stuff,
be in. They'll probably be there for Takeover New York in matches. One would hope.
Okay, cool.
So we go on to the last bit of news. Another big thing is, well, once again through a leak, the WWE had to kind of talk about a Hall of Fame induction beforehand, earlier than they expected. But we have another induction into the Hall of Fame for D-Generation X.
I heard about that. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a big honor. They were one of the forefronts of the Attitude Era.
It's going to be mostly early main to Generation X, so Triple H, Shawn Michaels, China, Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, who should at least still be able to make it. I'm sure the AEW guys would be fine with that, and as long as WWE is fine with that, then it's gonna work. And then X-Pac and all as well. So that's mostly gonna be. They're all gonna be in there. So that's probably gonna be. I would assume the only time China's gonna get in, because I don't believe she's gonna be given an individual induction, just because of what happened later with her career.
Yeah,
it's difficult to tell. But it's also going to be the second person to ever be in the Hall of Fame twice, with Shawn Michaels.
Oh, cool.
First being Ric Flair by himself and with the Four Horsemen. Now we have Shawn Michaels by himself and with D-Generation X.
Yep, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool that they saw both of his careers separately. So, did you want to talk about the Lacey Evans possibility?
Sure. Yeah, I'll let you talk about it.
Okay. Well, we did do a Smarky's award show called the Smarkies, obviously. And we picked Lacey Evans as our possible top wrestler of 2019, right? Man or woman?
Yeah, breakout star.
Yeah, breakout star. We thought it'd be Lacey Evans. Liam here was he was the one that picked Lacey Evans, and we all kind of agreed on it. And I saw something on. I follow Wrestle Talk on Twitter, and they said that Lacey Evans is the front runner as of right now to be the top woman after WrestleMania. As we all know, Ronda Rousey's either gonna. Well, she's supposed to leave the in-ring. We don't know if she's still going to be backstage or not, helping out, but she's supposed to leave WWE in-ring, and Lacey Evans looks like the top choice. And as Liam said, I kind of agree with you, a good pick there.
Yeah. Well, I talked about it, the Smarky is there, but it's a good, reasonable pick for it to be the one that Vince McMahon would choose to push into the women's division. So along with that, I would also add Ronda Rousey. I didn't think we talked about it last week when it actually came out, but apparently she's going to be in Total Divas.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it's possibly the way to keep her if she's not going to be on the wrestling show. She'd still keep her in the minds of wrestlers.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, then I guess the last bit of things from WWE, last major things at least, we would talk about. They advertised for Roman Reigns this Monday to return to talk about his condition.
Yeah, with leukemia.
Yeah, so we all hope that it's going well for him and that he can talk about a speedy recovery.
Yeah, we don't expect him to say that. Yeah, we don't expect him to say that he's doing well enough to where he can come back to wrestle. I would be very surprised if I guess I wouldn't be very surprised if you saw him in maybe a last match kind of thing, come back for one match. I don't know if I ever see him wrestling again.
I see he can. I mean...
You think he could?
I mean, he had leukemia before, and then went in remission, and then started his wrestling career. So he's wrestled after getting leukemia already, so it's definitely possible. The WWE is, though, coming out under a lot of flack from people who feel that it's not really right to kind of use this as a promo tool to say, hey, tune in Monday night to see his talk about his condition. What people were saying is like,
What?
It really ends up coming off as kind of like a ratings ploy instead of anything more genuine to nature. It probably would have served him better if they came out with a post saying, Roman Reigns is doing well and he's gonna be addressing how well he's doing, or if it's turned for worse, say that's turned for worse and say he's gonna address it coming Raw or something like that. But it does seem a little suspicious to have them come in and say, watch Raw, be able to see this under the normal guise of what we know about WWE's corporate wing and using charity, number one, as an attention grabber. It doesn't seem strange to think of this as a ratings ploy.
I don't see it as a ratings ploy just because he was your top dog. He was your top guy for so long. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted his matches weren't the best. He fought against the same guy all the time, but that doesn't matter. He was a top guy in WWE. And it's just like, tune in to see this guy fighting leukemia. It doesn't say if it's going good or bad. I mean, I would think any company would do that. I mean, granted it does push back some of the talent that is wrestling now, but it's like, they might do it at the beginning, get it over with, and then we go on with Raw kind of thing. But I don't know why people see it as a rating ploy, but they do, and I don't know.
I would also say it probably would have been better without any advertisement in general. Just even for the people in Notice, wouldn't it have been a more exciting thing to have him make a surprise return?
Yeah, okay. Like the Daniel Bryan thing.
Yeah.
But that got leaked, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, you just had a surprise return and him coming back and saying something. Would have been feel nicer, and he would have kind of avoided this stuff. But that's like I said, we all hope for good news for tomorrow when they have the announcements.
And we surely will mention our remarks on it next week.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, did you have any other news inside WWE?
No, not really.
Yeah, well, we can go and move on now. Yeah, go to our next segment, which is the what we would like to see. Because we're still keeping positive until WrestleMania.
Oh, that's the next segment? Okay, I didn't know it was so early. Okay.
Well, what's that next segment that you thought was next?
What was best in what we saw in WWE?
That might be next. It's Issa who normally does this, so.
Help us out, please. I know you're watching.
Well,
no, we'll just go with that segment. We'll do what we thought was best in WWE this week next. Mm-hmm. Anything you'd like to see, or let's put it this way, since anything we'd like to see, or something that you have seen that WWE is doing better.
Okay, what I would like to see is still more coherent narrative between the brands, especially from NXT to main roster. We already kind of talked about that beforehand with the call-ups.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of agree with you there, because I think it's more the main roster than NXT, because the main roster knows the storylines. They just choose not to just ignore them, So yeah, that would be a cool thing to see more of. And I guess WWE's doing. I mean, I kind of agree with you. That might be the only thing. It's doing really well for the start of 2019. I mean, we had two great pay-per-views. Mm-hmm. Granted, the matches were good, but titles didn't change hands. That's not a big deal. I just really want the matches to be good, and they have been. You had a great match with Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan at the end of the Elimination Chamber match. And
to be fair, I mean, you had the SmackDown Tag Team Championships and the Intercontinental Championships change hands.
Oh, yes, you did. Okay. Mm-hmm. Right, I did
The only one that remained was the WWE Championship and the Raw Women's Championship.
Right. Okay, so half of them changed hands. Okay. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But the sad part is, I saw Wrestle Talk tweeted another thing out that there's no talks about Kofi Kingston fighting Daniel Bryan again. I mean, as good as that was, I don't know. It's at least put him in the. Do something where you could put him in maybe in the main event for WrestleMania or in the next. I don't know. It's just. I just hope maybe after WrestleMania that they find a way to put Kofi Kingston into one of the big championship matches. I do kind of hate when you have a good match like that, because they've done this a couple of times where they had a couple of people fight and then they'll just abolish the storyline and start somebody new. I don't know. That's WWE for you, but just stay positive. They've been doing great. 2019, there's nothing I would like to see. They've been doing great with the pay-per-views.
More so than the consistent characters, right?
Wait, what?
Because that's what we're talking about, consistent characters and storylines through the...
They gotta work on that a little bit, huh? That's the major thing.
Even had some mix up there with this past week where Bobby Lashley teamed back up with Leo Rush after he attacked Leo Rush at Elimination Chamber.
He teamed up.
Yeah, it looks like they kind of gave that up so that they can have Finn Balor. Apparently, the initial storyline was Finn Balor was going to fight Ricochet, but Triple H convinced them not to do that, as it wouldn't make much sense. So they put them in the tag team together, but faced Bobby Lashley, and you had to put Leo Rush with them to have another person
to make it. Yeah, okay.
So,
but they're still going with the storyline of Bobby Lashley and Finn Balor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of weird too. I don't. Then again, you don't have the coherent.
Yeah,
we didn't mention it, but when you had the call-ups, Triple H didn't know much about it.
Yeah, apparently.
It was a last-minute thing, and they were finishing the writing at or during Raw. Mm-hmm. So, kind of weird there, but that's WWE. Always a tone of surprise, huh?
Yeah. Okay.
Next segment, I guess, is
the best segment of the week.
Yeah, in WWE. What you got for us?
For this week, I will talk about NXT kind of as a whole. I thought it was a really good NXT. I thought they had a really good match between Aleister Black and Roderick Strong to start off with.
Oh, cool.
And they had Mia Yim versus Z.
Let me look it up.
I never know how to pronounce the name. It's XIA. It's a Chinese.
You know how to spell it? Because I'll look him up.
XIA.
That's his name.
That's her name. Yeah.
Her. Okay. Superstars. XIA.
I mean, do you know how to pronounce XIA?
XIA Brookside.
Yeah.
No.
Or actually, it's another one, but they both had the same. I don't know how to pronounce. That's the problem.
Okay, that's alright.
It's like with a Z apparently or something. Z. But anyways, they had a good match that ended with the actual victory, but then got attacked. Then they both got attacked from Shayna Baszler. Then we had another really good match between Ricochet and Velveteen Dream. Not Ricochet. That was Velveteen Dream and Johnny Gargano for the North American Championship, and that was a real good one. Like a slow start, but it really picked up and had a real big energy at the end of it all.
And we do know who won.
Yeah, Velveteen Dream winning to become the new North American champion.
But he might not keep it too long either, because he did get called up, huh?
Not Velveteen Dream, no.
Okay. Right, yeah, he might not keep it long, you don't think?
I mean, Velveteen Dream is not getting called up just yet.
Yeah, but wasn't he? Who was? Oh, that was Ricochet with Finn Balor.
Yeah, so this is Velveteen Dream versus Johnny Gargano was a really great match. One of the overall matches from people who've watched even more wrestling than I have, they said that it was match of the week overall from a lot of different products. But it was a really great match, and like I said, so Black Project Strong was really good, and then the women's match as well. So it was a very strong episode of NXT. It was very good.
The one, excuse me, the one thing, I didn't get to see any wrestling, but I did read a lot of tweets and Facebook about the call-ups. I know we've been talking a lot about that, but that's just the big thing this week. And that's my big thing this week is just the call-ups. They're really, I was just surprised at how many big names got called up from NXT. Usually, like I said earlier, you just see one or two guys get called up, and that's it. But this is a lot of talent from NXT getting called up. I just hope that... Actually, I know Triple H will do a good job of keeping the talent together and finding new talent to work in, but I don't want to... I really don't want to see these guys leave NXT just because they're so good. And it's kind of hard because they're all top dogs in NXT that they don't have enough championships or enough spots to where they can all be top dogs in WWE at one time. It's almost impossible on the main roster. So, but we'll just have to wait and see what they do. Maybe they've convinced me so far in 2019 that they can do a good product. Maybe this is the change that they were talking about late in 2018 when Vince first came out with Shane and Stephanie in the ring on an episode of Raw, saying that they're gonna change and they're gonna revamp the even the tag team divisions, and they seem to do that. Gave the Revival their championships that they desperately needed for being on so long. So I hope for the best for NXT and for the main roster. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Is it what you think or book it yourself?
It's book it.
Book it?
We book it ourselves.
You got something for us?
Let's think of something. How audience? Do you also have anything that you would think?
Come on, Electro. I know you got something.
Yeah, he seems like a book it type of guy.
Yeah.
We can book it.
How would you have booked the call-ups? You want to do that? Or would you have called anybody else up or anybody different? Or was it just so good?
I mean, we can try to think of that. Think of, I guess, maybe feuds with them going forward.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
What would you like to see?
Well, let's look at Ricochet first.
Okay.
And see who we could put him with. Let's think of everyone on the brands.
Ricochet, what's it? He's like a high flyer type guy?
Yeah.
Kofi Kingston. You think so?
But it would be face versus face.
Oh, Ricochet's the face? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe a Finn Balor? Demon Finn Balor?
Still would really be face
there. The Usos maybe?
Yeah, if he gets into a tag team with someone he could work well with. In there,
I don't know any face.
It would probably be a good one working with would be Andrade Cien Almas.
Okay.
So that would probably be a good pick for there.
That'd be a good one. I would love to see him fight Andrade. Andrade had a good match with AJ Styles.
Yeah.
On SmackDown a few months ago, so that'd be a good pick. I would like to see Johnny fight maybe Finn Balor. Right, Johnny's a heel.
Yeah, that could work out because he's kind of into more of a heel in NXT as it goes. So that could definitely work out really good.
Or him and AJ Styles, even.
Yeah. I think Finn Balor would work even better.
Would work better, okay. Yeah.
Because I think maybe maybe a Ciampa versus AJ Styles. Maybe.
Oh.
Or
yeah. Okay, I see where you're going with that.
Ciampa, and then we have Aleister Black.
Anybody for Daniel Bryan? You think? Or no?
It could be a very interesting pairing for Aleister Black versus Daniel Bryan.
Oh, I didn't think you'd go that way because isn't that too? Aleister Black's a face?
He's kind of in between, but he mostly comes out as a face and fights heels.
Okay.
But he's, very dark guy, so it's kind of like a dark anti-hero type person.
Okay.
So cool. I feel that could work well together in the ring. I would feel personality-wise, I don't know about... It definitely doesn't necessarily seem like it would play off of the whole conservationist edge of Daniel Bryan, but they could definitely still work stuff out with it, with him. Maybe Aleister Black given the idea of working the extremes of a person. Like one of the points is that, in his theme song, it's like, no man is truly good and no man is truly evil. It kind of play into that, like, extremes don't really work type deal with him. And so that's some feuds going on with them. All of them should work well, and all of them original as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that's about it for that segment.
Mm-hmm.
What do you... Wait, no. What's the next one?
It should be What Do You Think?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Where we ask a question. You got any?
Yeah, what do you think of Paige's comments when she's saying that it was the fans holding women back in wrestling and not WWE?
Yeah, that's like you told me this last night. It's just try not to get Vince McMahon over. Try not to get Vince McMahon mad at her. I don't agree with it, obviously. I mean, they don't give women the proper storylines or the proper feuds. If there are feuds, they're never for the title because, as we all know, Ronda Rousey is the top dog. I hope maybe with this Lacey Evans being the top dog for a few months, that there'll be better storylines and maybe she'll lose the title and win it back and forth a few times. To make it more of a storyline. I mean, Ronda Rousey, yeah, she fights somebody for a couple matches and that's it. It's over. Done. We move on to the next one. Couple matches, done. Move. It's getting boring. But we don't write the, storylines. All we can do is react to if we like it or not. And I don't think it's us holding the women down. What do you think?
My opinion with it is that the fans can only react to what they're being shown, and if the company doesn't put enough effort into the women, then you can't expect the fans to actually care about it. And I'll counteract the point with a good thread from Twitter user at BVMBShelled when she went and had documented cases of how women were held back. A lot of these are from interviews. Michelle McCool was saying how after a match with her and Melina, they were yelled backstage for being better than the guys. Someone was saying that he looked too good in the match and that it was a bad thing. And Michelle McCool, another one where her and Victoria had to go back out and redo a match because their punches looked too good. It was for a taped event, and so they had to redo a match. There's other ones where women talked about how almost having their matches cut, or even shortened. Melina and Ashley they were talking about how they had almost had their WrestleMania match cut, but instead they kept it, but it was under 3 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and then just multiple times, even time on Total Divas where they they showed a match that was supposed to happen between the Bella Twins and the Funkadactyls actually got cut. So it was multiple times, you know. Tori Wilson saying how her and other women wanted to use weapons in the matches, but weren't allowed to. Other ones. Michelle McCool used the finisher. That's kind of like Mandy Rose's now, but they told her not to do it because it looked too devastating for girls. So there's a long line of things where they were just kind of held back, and it was definitely shown. And it's not just a thing where you can say the fans were doing that. The WWE was definitely going out the way to help hold people back. So they put out an inferior product, and people treated it like it was an inferior product. You can't really blame it. And it's pretty ironic that also while in there, you have Paige's new film, which we saw, and where it has a scene in there where her and her mother talks about how the WWE only picks models that just want to shake their tits and ass.
We'll talk more about that next week, but yeah.
Yeah, when we all get together, we'll review it next week.
But that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And
but
you
it's
can
kind of like pointing out the same thing that she says fans do. It was something that's in the movie itself.
Well, it's kind of like, to me, it's like the painting the Iconics.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of there to be bitchy and look pretty. Kind of per se more than wrestle.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say with that, but I'm just saying that's a thing that the WWE tried to put out there by trying to make like women who were not as gifted but still looked better pushing them, but then also had the fact that it just held women back who wanted to try to be better wrestlers, stopped them from being better wrestlers, and it's really uncool, and you can't really expect people to care about it more so than the people making the product.
Right.
So.
Let me see if I can think of a question for you. Okay, let's put this out there. It's kind of a broad question.
Here's another one too.
What you got?
Where Molly Holly, they were not going to end up having a WrestleMania in, I don't know what WrestleMania 20, where it was. So Molly Holly was desperate and wanted to have a match, a women's match on the card itself.
Mm-hmm.
So she came up with a suggestion to do a hair versus title match, and got her head shaven and pitched that idea, and because she was that desperate to try to get a women's match on the card.
God.
So
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of reasons why fans act like they act because of the...
Yeah, because the WWE didn't put any effort into it.
Well, we'll move on to the happier side of things, because my question is... I'm predicting your answer. Should be a happy answer to this question. How is the WWE so far in 2019?
For pay-per-view wise, it's been pretty strong, I would say. Looks better than it was last year. Let's keep it going. So far, they really haven't had that great of a build for WrestleMania. I mean, we know the women's match. For the most part, we know the Universal title match. But I don't think we have any other matches so far. The
WWE match.
Do we know the WWE Championship match? Do we know that one? No. Yeah. So
and that's not even a big build on the Universal because he's hurt.
Yeah, Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Still out, and
right.
Brock Lesnar isn't really coming back in.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah. But it's right. There's
which leans more to why they really should give something for Kofi, so that we can have a match between Kofi and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. But yeah, it's so besides not really having a good build for that so far, when they really should be building from Royal Rumble on. But the pay-per-views so far have been all promising. So I would like to see it keep going and have high hopes. I don't know about the weekly products, but
no, we don't. obviously we don't keep, as you can tell, we don't keep up with the weekly products as much as we used to, but they're trying to change the weekly products as we saw with the call-ups. Yeah, Cultaholic, make a tricky game for as many times as we say call-ups, okay? Because you probably could, but it is cool to see that the pay-per-view wasn't even 3 hours last week. Last couple weeks, was it last week? Last week, yeah. I mean, it wasn't even 3 hours. That was great. And it didn't even feel like you were worn out after because the matches were so good. The card was built, it was in the right order, I think. The matches weren't too long. The Ronda Rousey match was just, you probably could have given a little bit more to that one, but just check out our video and our review of Was It Worth It? What was the name? Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, Elimination Chamber.
But overall, both pay-per-views were great. The Royal Rumbles were great. I just hope they keep it up. I mean, Fastlane's going to be interesting to see, and then Isa's got a question for us for our mailbag segment when we get to it about WrestleMania, but I'm pretty sure they'll be able to do fairly well from what I've seen so far.
Yeah, some more stuff with it too.
With what?
The women thing.
Oh, the women thing, yeah.
Victoria being told that women weren't allowed to bleed and that no one wanted to see it either.
Mm-hmm.
Naomi on Talk is Jericho saying that she was told she was too athletic and she shouldn't be doing high-flying moves in order to not outshine the men. Storyline where Michael Cole was interrupting and telling divas they were bathroom breaks and that they don't matter.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, so once again, we're not to blame for it if they even trying to say that it's bathroom break. I mean, granted that was when Cole was a heel, but still, you don't put enough effort and don't allow him to shine, you can expect us to care about it. But anyways, we can go back forward. Once again, the pay-per-view has been successful, and they allow him to shine now more than they did before.
Yeah, they're letting him do the Royal Rumble, an Elimination Chamber match. So, yeah, they're starting to let him do what the men do, and that's great to see.
So, next would just be the mailbag.
Yeah, and since I mentioned WrestleMania, we'll go with Isa's question first. I do not agree with this question. I mean, do you think there'll be too many moments at WrestleMania? Let me say too many, in quotes, moments.
So far, we don't even really have too many matches.
Right,
people are expecting as well that they're going to have Kofi Kingston and they're going to say, there's going to be too many moments surrounding Seth, Becky, and Kofi Kingston, but really, so far, it's not really a proven fact that Kofi is even going to be at WrestleMania and be crowned either. So right now, it's going to be Seth Rollins getting the Universal title and Becky getting the Raw Women's Championship, most likely.
And to me, if it's just like the other pay-per-views have been so far, I don't think there can be too many moments. Because, I mean, it is a long pay-per-view. Always has been 5 hours. Right? 6 to 11?
It's going to be a while.
Yeah. But I have some high hopes that WWE will keep doing what they're doing. And hopefully they don't do what they did with this. It will be 7 hours, granted, with the 2 hours beforehand, but I'm just hoping that the matches are good enough to where we don't think it was too many moments. You know, if the matches are good, you can have as many moments as you want.
You have a moment every hour.
Yeah, you could. I mean, it's the Super Bowl of wrestling. You want to have big moments, and I don't think too many. I don't think you could put a number on too many.
No, I don't think it's too many either.
Yeah. So you heard of anything? Any questions?
Any questions? Let me think. Nothing's really coming to me right now. But how about this one as a question? Page movie came out. What superstar would you want to see a biopic of if they do one next?
We do have the Hulk coming out, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Paige is a good one. Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan biopic?
Daniel Bryan or AJ Styles.
How about a Daniel Bryan biopic, but it was also played by an actual goat? And you think of all the lines, bah, bah.
No, but in all seriousness, who would you want to see play? Who do you think could play Daniel Bryan?
I don't really know many actors and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true.
That would be more East's thing.
Let me ask you this question: Would you put Kane in there? Like, would you? You'd have to put their tag team time together, huh?
I guess it does depend on what you want to focus on, but
yep. So yeah, that would be. What about yours?
How about a complete in kayfabe biopic of the Undertaker's life?
That would be cool.
So it's in character Undertaker's life, the backstory of Kane and everything. In a funeral, that would actually be pretty funny.
That would be pretty cool.
That should be a realistic thing for the WWE network that they should work on.
Really?
Yeah.
One of their short movies, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations as well. 5-year anniversary for it.
The network?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that is amazing, and they got millions of people that bought it already.
Mhm.
And they're still doing the free. I mean, you usually get 2 pay-per-views a month when you get your free month, so that's I'm glad I knew I was almost 100% sure the network would work because it's much cheaper than a pay-per-view. Pay-per-views were $60, and it was like the year because we bought it. When did we buy it? I can't remember. Probably when it first came out.
Yeah, it was been 5 years from now. Because we bought it
Right after that WrestleMania. Because that WrestleMania came out.
We bought it like the day of the first pay-per-view that was on the network, I believe.
Which was because
Which would have been Backlash.
The one after WrestleMania.
Yeah, it would have been.
Because we had to go to a local bar to watch WrestleMania because I don't know, we just couldn't.
And well, we were also trying to
afford it.
We were trying to look it up, and I don't even know. We went through our options and found out it was the best option, especially since they didn't have any places that were having watching parties for it. So
right, it was, and it's a cool thing. You can go as far back as the first match ever and see it on the network for $10. You know, normally with those kind of things, you'd have to go to a Walmart or online somewhere and buy a video for $30 or $40. Because if you had a video from way back when of wrestling, it's probably worth a lot of money now. Did you think it would be this successful?
yeah, I feel that had expectations. Is what I thought.
Are you surprised they kept the price? They didn't raise the price or anything?
Well, they haven't raised it yet, I guess, but I mean, there were some thoughts that they were going to have a new premium level come out in the future, but I don't think they ever dropped that news yet, and so it's just speculation.
Okay. Is that all the stuff we have for today?
Can't really think of anything else, so I guess so.
Yeah. Alright, let me try this closing thing. Alright, thanks for joining us. If you like this video, please hit those sexy likes.
I think that's sexy one. It's just the idea that you're gonna hit the likes, the sexy likes.
Because I did that.
Okay, well no, because you said hit. Want me to do that? I said it's like
yeah, we hit this hit that subscribe button so you will be part of the Smarky family. And hit that notification bell.
Well, because you want to get notified for when we go live for a podcast shooting with the Smarky family every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time, and we get notified for when we go live for pay-per-views inside WWE and some outside WWE as well. And also just when we post any type of videos or any type of polls, posts, or anything like that.
And that's it. And you can follow me at DJC_SEL. You can also follow Issa at ISA_STP.
Follow me on Twitter at Liam_SWA.
And that's it for this week. Please tune in next week at 1 p.m. with probably Iam and Issa, for our 30th. Wow, 30 already. Damn. So it'll be a big party for 30 episodes of the Shooting with Smarky
Podcast is already over the hill.
Yeah. Right. So yeah. Until next week. It will be awesome.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. I hit the stop. Okay, there we go. Bye.